Welcome back. I hope you are doing great. As a part of this video, we'll understand how the copy and move commands work as a part of the Linux. Let's get started. So whenever you are working in Linux, as we already discussed, you will be creating multiple directories, not one, not two, not three. You create multiple directories for various reasons. See, that is how it happens in Windows as well. And whenever you create a directory, you would have a files also as a part of the directory. This may have some 10 files. This may have some 50 files, right? There is always a requirement where you have to copy a file from one directory to another directory. Copy command comes to our help. With the copy command, we can copy a file from one directory to another directory. That is the first use case. The second one is, if you want to copy a content of one file to another file, that also can be done from a copy command. Look at this, the way we are doing it here. We are saying cp pet.text to pet1.text. What it means is the contents of the pet.text will be copied to new file pet1.text. What we saw earlier is copying a file. What if your requirement is copying all the files from one directory to another directory? Then only cp wouldn't work. That is when you have to use a -r to copy all the contents of a one directory to another directory. That means you are recursively going through all the contents of one directory and copying that to another directory that happens to be destination directory. It is not always you copy a file from one directory to another directory, right? Sometimes there is a requirement where you have to cut and paste. Like, you don't want the file to be in a source directory. Let us say file 1 is there. Okay, you want to move it, means you don't want to have a copy of that file in the source directory. Whole file need to be moved to the destination directory. That is when we can use move command. Move command would help us to move a file from one directory to another directory and also move the content of one file to another file. So sometimes we need to delete the files, right? In that case, we can go ahead and use a command called rm, which will remove the file which has specified from a current directory. Awesome. We'll see all these commands as a part of the hands-on. I am logging into Ubuntu. If you don't have Ubuntu, please install Ubuntu before you practice these commands. If I want to look at in which directory I am, I need to use a command called pwd, that is present working directory. So I am in a folder called Unix, which is in a folder called Mahanta, which is in a folder called home. So basically, this is a path in which I am working as of now. Let us see what are the contents of this particular directory. Now let me create one more directory called test 123. So if I say ls, I do have a test 1234. How do I navigate to that? Use cd test 123. I am in a directory called test 1234. If you want to check where you are, you can use pwd command. Do we have any contents as a part of this particular directory? Not really. We just created this now. What we will do now is we'll copy a file named Cosmos into this particular directory. I'll say cp Cosmos. Then I will provide that destination directory. That happens to be test 1234, which is there in the current directory only. If you say ls, Do we have the file in the source directory? Yes, we do have. Let us check in the target directory. CD. Yes, a file called cosmos1.txt has been copied from Unix directory to test1234 directory. This is how you copy a file from one directory to another directory. One more use case is if you want to copy a content of one file to another file, you can do that. Like let us say, I'll say ls and I'll say cp cosmos swim and I'll say cosmos2.txt now. If you say ls, contents of cosmos1.txt has been copied to cosmos2.txt. Let me go ahead and cat on cosmos2.txt. There you go. This is how we can use the copy command to copy a file from one directory to another directory, or you can copy a contents of one file to another file. We looked at copy command. How does the move works? Move is almost same as that of cut and paste in Windows. So let us say we have this cosmos1.txt, cosmos2.txt in this particular folder. I will create one more directory called cp move in test1234 directory. We say ls, I have this directory. Do we have anything as a part of this? Not really, because we don't have any file copy to this. We just created this. What I want to do is I want to move, that means cut and paste cosmos2.txt to cpmv directory. And the way I can do is mv cosmos2, and I will go ahead and provide the, if I say ls, cosmos2.txt is not there here because we moved it. Move is almost like a cut and paste. Here we had three contents in this particular path, that is test1234 directory, cosmos1.txt, cosmos2.txt, and cpmv folder. When we executed this particular command, it moved the cosmos2.txt from test1234 directory to cpmv directory. Let us see whether it is there or not. Yes, it is there. And if you want to move the contents of one file to another file, that also can be done. So what are the contents of this? Say this is what is the content of this particular file. Now if I want to move, I'll say mv cosmos, I'll say cosmos test for move. If I say ls now, this cosmos2.txt has moved its content to cosmos test for move and it got deleted. It's kind of a cut and paste, right? Let us look at the contents of this now. Yes, you have the contents of cosmos2.txt here, and the file has been renamed to cosmos test for move. One more very important command is cp-r. What does it do? It copy all the contents of one folder to another folder. If I say cp punit to, no, it will not allow because I'm trying to copy all the contents of one folder to another folder. In this case, if you just go ahead and say cp-r, it should work. There you go. If you go and check now, we have this whole folder copied into this particular folder. So whenever you want to copy all the contents of one particular folder to another folder, use cp-r. If you want to delete the files whichever you don't like, in that case you can just go ahead and use rm. For that you can say actors file is gone now. And if you want to remove the contents of the whole directory, you can say rm-r and provide the name of the directory. That removes all the contents of a directory recursively. If you say ls, it is not there. Awesome. You guys have a wonderful time. Thank you.